everybody doing? So
Great.
today I am talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, but it's part of what I would call a productive morning routine. Having what we call a commitment every day to what I call time restricted eating. It is part of a way that will improve your productivity. It will help you with hunger. It'll help you with clarity. It'll reduce your risk of chronic diseases. I mean, the list goes on, but more importantly, it's part of what I call the 6 best morning habits of being productive. And I'll share with you the other ones. And I have a handout that at the end, I can provide that resource in the chat. But every day you wake up and everybody has a routine, whether they like it or not, right? Sometimes you hit the snooze button. Sometimes it's just a matter of making sure you get that cup of coffee, right? That extra cup of coffee. And sometimes it's reading the newspaper. But I will tell you that morning routines of the most successful people out there do not include the things that most people do. So part of what I wanted to, and one of them is intermittent fasting, is one of the things that will make you more productive. So first, let me go through intermittent fasting. How many of you are, I know there's a few on here, are intermittent fasters or time restricted eaters? Okay, just a few of you. Well then, great, we can talk about what the benefits are. Why time restrict eat? Adrian, Yvonne, why do you do it?
I do it because I absolutely feel healthier and more sharp and more productive if I don't eat for 16 to 18 hours. My mind goes into a whole level of clarity that I don't have when I am having little bites here, that whole little thing of having little bites over the course of, the day, you eat 6 small meals. I think for me, never worked. I always felt sluggish, and especially if I had anything with dairy, I just may as well go to sleep. So for me, it's really clarity and high productivity.
Great, and those are definitely two of the benefits there. How about you, Yvonne?
Well, I find that if I eat early in the morning, I'm very, very hungry, so I eat more. That's one of the main reasons, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, we're productive people. A lot of us are solopreneurs. It takes time to eat. And when you do eat earlier in the morning, you end up finding, first of all, it takes the preparation, and then you're hungrier throughout the day, so you're distracted. So that's another major reason. Well, if we think about how we evolved as human beings, we evolved over a period of time, millions of years. And it only makes sense that the reason why we are here today is because our ancestors could handle short-term fasting. It makes sense, and our bodies are designed for short-term fasting. Well, what does the benefit of short-term fasting do? It regulates blood sugar. When you're in the fasting state, your blood sugars are more stable. Also, all of the fed level, there's hormones as well as neuromodulators that are constantly being produced when you eat versus when you're in the fasting state. There is also a major component of your gut. Believe it or not, your gut, as well as your hormones and your organs, all follow a circadian rhythm and an ultradian rhythm. The ultradian rhythm is something that happens within 90 minutes, usually 90-minute blocks. And what you'll find when we look at the trillions of bacteria and fungi that live on the outside and the inside of our bodies, they were around first. So I think that these rhythms were designed to work symbiotically with them versus them to work symbiotically with us. Your microbiome actually changes in the fed state when it's in the fasting state. And 70% of your immune system is in your gut, as well as neurotransmitters that will produce that wonderful clarity that Adrian was talking about. Or how many of you suffer from brain fog? brain fog's a big one out there. I have so many clients that work with me initially, and they'll go, wait a second, I never realized that I had brain fog until they started on the program and started implementing some of these habits. And it's all about creating that habit. So what is time restricted eating? Since you know now the benefits of it, the time restricted eating is limiting your eating window. So that eating window would be between, to me, probably what Adrian said. I do an 8-hour fast. I mean, I'm sorry, 8-hour window of eating. But sometimes it's only a 6-hour window of eating. I'm going to tell you that ideally, anything starting, let's see if you're eating in a 12-hour window, to start, because of the ultradian rhythms, to restrict it by 1 hour a day until you get to whatever feels best for you. And you will find that in that fasting state, although it's because you can't go from 12 to 16, it's not healthy to do that, you will find that you will end up not being as hungry. So those are some of the things that, as far as time restricted eating, will benefit you. But the other thing is, Yvonne mentioned it, she's not as hungry, so you won't eat as much. Yes, people will lose weight doing it, but another benefit is because of these circadian rhythms and ultradian rhythms, we end up having periods of time when we're in building mode and when we're in repair mode. When you're fasting, you should be in repair mode. And your brain needs to be able to clean out and clear out all the byproducts of what it worked on yesterday. That's one of the reasons why we get brain fog. So you don't want to be eating when you should be just before resting, because it will mess up your circadian rhythms. So there's that benefit there, but it also improves longevity. You can't necessarily translate it to humans yet, but they are working on it. But when you take a look at mice and they time restrict their eating to only, let's say 8 hours, they can eat an unlimited source of increase in their longevity. And the reason why you can't look at that, my internet is unstable, so I'm hoping that I'm not going to go into a freeze and pause. But
It froze for a moment. Did everybody else hear the freeze, or was it just me? Okay, so yeah.
I'm like, I've been having issues. So it's really important for you to understand that there is a huge benefit, and a lot of longevity scientists are looking at using time restricted eating along with other ways of manipulating what you eat and when you eat to improve health, because we are not designed to live to 100 and age so terribly the way most people do. Wouldn't it be great if we could age to 100 living as if we're 20, which is what the ultimate goal is. I don't know how much more time I have, but I wanted to quickly review the other 6 out of the 6. Do I have time for it? Okay, good. So first, morning habit. Get rid of the alarm clock. Allow your body to be in sync with you. And many people who are the most productive wake up without an alarm clock. 2, coffee is great. Don't be afraid of coffee. Now, if you're caffeine sensitive, totally understand, but coffee will increase your clarity, and it really helps with time restricted eating. Number 3, exercise. It doesn't have to be a lot, but exercise in the morning, even if it's for a little, 10-15 minutes. It doesn't have to be your main bout of exercise, but we need to be active in the morning. Push your decision-making tasks for later, because decision-making tasks are something that requires a tremendous amount of brain power, and it's better not to do it first thing in the morning, but to push it to sometime later in the day. Number 5, practice gratitude. I know many of you are on a gratitude in a Facebook group, and I can't compete with you guys as far as how many days you've been doing it in a row, but I've started, and I have in my Facebook group also. Practicing gratitude isn't just about writing it. It's about reprogramming the neural pathways in your brain. I'll just tell you, gratitude changes everything. I'll leave it at that. And then the last one was practicing time restricted eating. All of those, if you take a look at Bezos, you take a look at Oprah, you take a look at what's his name, Elon Musk, and lots of other productive people, these are all parts of their daily morning routine. So hopefully you can pick one and decide that you can do this going forward, and it will help improve your clarity and improve your productivity. I'm going to also let you know that I'm starting my what's called the First Step program. So it's in the bottom of the sheet here, where all you need to do, if you say, well, I'm overwhelmed, I don't have the time, I'm not motivated. Well, you give me what your big problem is when it comes to your life goals, and I will tell you the first step. And it's starting today, and I'll post that for you guys.